Sagittarius, you have a very special and unique read. I'm telling you. Okay, additional messages come through. Now, I've had to do the read. This is 3 times. Now, 2 occasions it was silent, so it can be 2 energies not talking. I'm also seeing a 3 energy situation where there can be an external situation playing out. Now, this read traditionally doesn't start off this way. I will say, and I'm going to have to compile everything in to really articulate and speak about the energies that did come through, because also I did get a lot of downloads. Now, this read for you guys moving into January 2020 is covering astrology placement, cards connected to my psychic intuition, as well as your romance house. And I have pulled 1 additional card for love overall. Now, I'm going to get into the crowning energy, and I do suggest you balancing out your solar plexus and sacral chakra, because in the connection spiritually with a love interest or your mindset to do with it, there is some healing that needs to be done in that area. Now, interestingly enough, Aries and Chiron for you, when it falls in the house of Aries, it's there for 8 years. We've already had a transitional state of that, so around 7 years left to go. Now, this falls in your 5th house, which is romance, birth, children, and luck. Your crowning energy for gemstones and protection is both heart chakra. And I won't get into the complete gist of it because I really want to pull all these energies in while they're in my mind's eye. So these both connect to heart chakra, both connected to your passions, how you view things. One was in reverse, one was upright. So again, I'm feeling a yin-yang energy going on and a balance within your intuition, your feelings, your vibrations, and how you suppress them. And also your hunter-gatherer mode, which is very much the Capricorn energy coming through. Now, the 8th house placement for you guys is deeply important because it's really relating into the Cancer eclipse, which is happening this month. Now, we do have a conjunction occurring with Cancer and Capricorn and Pluto. Okay, so making a conjunction, Saturn Pluto conjunct in Capricorn. The Capricorn frequency is to do with the aspects of, can be paperwork, finances, but it's sort of happening around the eclipse in Cancer. So the nodes have been in Cancer and Capricorn. So balancing our work life, our home life, our accountable energy. With the nodes changing in May, they are going to be changing through your zodiac sign. So it will be in Gemini and Sagittarius. So for you guys, this is very much first house placement, which means for the next 2 years, you guys, once the nodes in March transition over, you'll be going through a state of transformative energy and regressing and looking at things where you can actually show the world yourself differently, communicate more effectively, how communication can directly affect certain things, and disconcerting between what is told to you and what your intuition is telling you. Also in a growth sense, you know, what you can physically do, the art of communication. I'll leave it at that. Now, anything else I've missed before we proceed forward? The 2nd house for the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, right? It's in Capricorn. The eclipse is in Cancer. The Capricorn frequency coming through with Saturn and Pluto, and even Jupiter, is your 2nd house, which is all to do with your finances. Your finances, in a sense, it's more to do with the things that you're placing your money into, the things that you deem as abundant. This can be upgrades of assets, property, inheritances, especially with the 8th house placement. With the Cancer eclipse coming up, there can be wounds coming from the past, from 2019 and prior, where you're looking at life, death, money, legacies, and wills. So there can be subject matter in a family-related dynamic that comes up, a memory, a trigger, and especially with Aries and Chiron being in your 5th house of romance, birth, children, and luck, you know, to really hone in on that and meditate upon it if something is energetically coming up. So stay as grounded as possible. Definitely my highest recommendation is your solar plexus and sacral chakra balance, because within the connection, now this is connected to other people as well as romantically, be it you with them or not, because I do actually read for the collective between flames. I am one myself. as well as spiritual connections. You don't even need to be a twin flame for me to read that energy. Because directly speaking, when we are tuning into an individual, it can be a memory. It can also be the direct person, even if you're not with them. You directly are channeling them. So if that has been deeply on your mind, it will seep through in your read because you directly are channeling them. I'm channeling you, so therefore I tap into their frequency. Your crowning energy, and the reason I'm doing the read this way is so that you're semi-prepared for 2020. So, you know, you can really look back at this in intervals through the year to help you, as well as in the next eclipse cycle with the Cancer energy tying out and the Capricorn energy tying out. We're going to be having eclipses in Gemini and Sagittarius. So that for you, again, will be changing the way you look at things. It's going to be very first house placement. With the nodes coming through. And with the Gemini frequency, again, it is with marriages, contracts and partnerships. So your connection and how you build in with those and how you communicate inside of those situations, how it's directly governing and managing the growth in those situations and your day-to-day life and your routine, okay? With your first placement, now we're covering money. The first energy that was coming through is you're being very cautious as to how you are tuning into finances, what you think about finances and what you're directly doing with your money. You're trying to bring in a balance of consistency. Now, I can show you the card. I can't show you the clarifier. I've done it 3 times, so I know, and I'm tuning more so into the frequency, psychically speaking. So you've got the 7 of Cups, and 7 is spiritually speaking. It's also to do with the fact that you're making very decisive decisions, even looking over finances, especially with the Capricorn frequency. If it's linking in with a family dynamic, your fear-based frequencies as to how you're going to proceed forward to have this growth in 2020, you're really making some hard calls and looking at things and meditating upon them in a financial way. Now, in your career, if you're not happy, you've got the Knight of Wands in reverse. I'm feeling 2 energies. Those of you who are on the fence in employment, I feel you will actually make a decision to take steps to actually move into different employment. Others of you, it can be really trying to break that glass ceiling and getting to a point where you're liberating yourself out of a situation. There also can be external factors, especially astrologically speaking, that are impacting these vibrations, both financially and physically in a work domain. If you're wanting to work and you're not working, the Capricorn energy is going to push you to be really, really assertive and to make some very hard calls as to how to achieve that goal. With the Gemini nodes coming through, it is also to do with communication. So it can be for you guys, you know, in your 7th house placement is really looking at those contracts, taking the experience you've had previously, could even be working with a person that you're directly in an intimate connection with, or going back to a past tense boss. But looking at previous contracts, seeing what you've learned, assessing whether that will be a good idea, and even networking to the point you can move forward, and potentially even it's boding very well in 2020 for home-based businesses. So looking outside the box, not getting triggered by what's happening in the world, and really creating your own destiny in that area. Now, in the tribe domain, you did get the 2 of Cups, and there was a few messages coming through here. The 2 of Cups, in a sense, with the clarifier card, it was really coming through that some of you are very focused on relationships, and especially with the crowning energy being both heart chakra, there are situations playing out where potentially you have a mindset of what's going on in this situation, be it you with the person or not. It also could be affecting the connections and people that you're mixing with. And, you know, other zodiac signs are going through that. We're in a spiritual path, and when we're transforming, we can directly purge friendship groups and connections. It doesn't have to be that you're purging this direct connection. It's that trying to find that new foundation, especially with Mercury energy coming through with the Gemini nodes in March, the way you're communicating in these situations, and you'll find these energies are already playing out. I'm also feeling for those of you that are single, there is also a potential that you could meet someone through work, through your family, and the people you're directly mixing with. But I am feeling for those of you that are on your fence, you know, when it comes to a connection, that there's also this frequency coming through that potentially you're meditating upon people's opinions, but you do really need to come back to yourself and see, you know, whether that directly resonates with you and whether there's something that you can actually take on board and take with you, or maybe discard and choose really what you feel is going to be correct for you. But in your love domain, and I had pulled one singular card and then I tapped into your romance very separately. The Faith card come up, and it's a 5. It is to do with change. I was also seeing there's some things within the relationship or connection or in general towards relationships and love, your mindset directly is changing. Especially with Aries and Chiron, for you being in your 5th house, it's like 5, romance, birth, luck and children. The card directly connected to love is a 5 card, so it's a deep change happening here, but it is through the actual healing factor of these situations. Now, part of your dreams, you had the Ace of Coins, and it's almost looking at things again from a deep meditated state, but regret. At times that can be self-sabotage, and that's why I'm really suggesting that the sacral chakra, solar plexus be balanced out, because this is, with the heart chakra, a very, very deep healing month for you guys to not stand in your way any longer, not feel bad that things potentially didn't work in 2019, and where you can actually do things in 2020 and change those situations for the better. I'm also feeling any failures potentially that did occur. You can actually look at them and use them as tools so that next round, so to speak, and it's almost round like a coin, you know, looking at it and taking the next round and taking that information with you to build upon it even further. Very Saturn Pluto energy. Getting the map, seeing the dead wood, rectifying the dead wood Pluto energy, cleaning it out, shaping it up, and making it better than it was before, and I feel high success. Now, in a karmic frequency, the energy you got was the Queen of Swords in reverse, and there's going to be a lot of conflict going on, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of misunderstandings, and it's really weighing heavy on your heart. And again, I'll repeat back. How does that make you feel? Heart chakra activation. Do you, don't you? Do you say something, did you? You know, back and forward. And again, because I had to record this read 3 times, it was feeling like third-party energy. Now, the third-party energy, there's different sides to every story, and it doesn't have to be cheating. I mean, don't get me wrong. The 3 of Swords energy was really coming through in your read, more so of different perspectives. Interference, but governing your own mind and not allowing those things to affect you, because in every day-to-day life we have conflict, but it's the energy we feed into that. When we're triggered and we're upset about something, there's the trigger moment. I listened to this beautiful video and it was really great in the way it articulated it. We can never change how we react to a situation. The reaction is the reaction. It's the hurt, it's the pain, especially with Aries and Chiron being in romance, birth, children, and luck. Perspective and perception, egoic situation, we build walls to protect ourselves, so the trigger's there. It's always there, dormant. So when a vibration occurs that triggers it, it's natural for a vibration to occur of a throat chakra nature, of communication, of pain body experience, of an emotion going on. You then go to the secondary stage, which is the meditation. It's thinking upon it. Now you think on it and it feels stuck. If you move to the 3rd stage and there's hate or there's anger or resentment, it's actually resentment. It's no longer being triggered, being angry. It's residing in you like a frequency. And I'll have to articulate it better on a later occasion and potentially even do a video about it. With this karmic frequency, it's literally like becoming a Buddhist monk. And I mentioned this in 2018 after I'd moved through some ascension symptoms, dark night of the soul, and feeling that I needed to become like a Buddhist monk, whereby whatever externally to me is occurring, I can actually navigate through that effectively without it directly affecting my vibration by disowning it and knowing I can only change the way I come to situations, not the way other people come to it. And by far am I saying I'm perfect. So there is this conflict going on, but it is resolving, and it potentially can be coming up between the eclipse. There is a high suggestion to walk through this month without making major drastic decisions. And this is because with those imbalances, even within your connection, the one that you're connected to and love with or with, there is a healing going on between both of you. Now this healing, it's two very different perspectives and crosswise in communication inside the connection. It's the unspoken words. I do feel you guys are going to make the time in January to have these conversations. If you have no contact, there is also a potential that this person could reach contact with you. I also feel that if you're not having contact, the healing regardless, there is going to be communication in the sense that you're going to allow it to come up. But you need to make peace with that and allow it to come up so you can have some deep healing. Now I'm going to pull 3 cards very separately to see overall what's coming through for romance. What is the past, present, future, and advice? Past, present, and advice. I'm telling you, it's exactly what I just said. I can't believe it's come out. I'll show you the cards. We'll get to the advice. You'll try and laugh. Laughing is healing, okay? That's all I can say. Laughing is healing. Okay, past tense, you know, pain body experiences, looking at injustice, feeling that there were delays, you know, frustrated over a lack of progress and movement. And in the area where you were looking at your dreams, you know, and looking at the karmic frequency, there was a lot of love oozing through your rate, but there was a lot of passion. Now, heart chakra is great, but with the solar plexus and sacral chakra involved, it can be a trigger-friendly energy where there's a pain body experience. To heal ourselves, we could comfort eat, we could smoke, it's very Neptunian. It can cause distortion. I know in 2017-18, when we had a lot of retrogrades, I had a client that was working for rehabilitation services, I'll put it that way. And I asked him the question because that's where I really started looking at the astrology. And I said, have you had a lot of people regress? And he said, yes, yes, we have. Okay. And I said, how are they actually faring? It was deep, deep healing. Now, astrology this year is quite full on with the conjunction. That's not to say the frequency will be consistently like that, but we do have retrogrades this year. We also have Venus retrograde this year, and instead of having 4 eclipses, we're having 6. So it is major transitional states, plus we're entering into a new decade cycle. So there's lots of changes and shifts. The way you apply yourself to it potentially could be needing to look at these things. And again, it's when you get the Aquarius energy coming through, that's when Saturn transfers from Capricorn to Aquarius. Energies are going to be different. But in the meantime, let me have a look. With this eclipse coming in, and the conflict playing out in a karmic sense, because the Cancer energy can be to do with family-related dynamics, or the way we hone in on situations. And with birth and romance, you could be regressing back, having a pain body experience from childhood because of solar plexus. Solar plexus did come through in your read, both for you and the partner. Love interest. One was upright, which was your energy. The other was reversal, but one was overactive, one was underactive. And this is to do with the eclipse, because the clarifier card was Sun energy, which is connecting in with the eclipse, okay, Leo energy. So the strength in the given situation and the injustices can be perspective and inner healing. So that's where the imbalance was. Now, you know, an injustice has occurred in any shape or form, directly connected to this relationship, directly connected to you, or you feel within this connection, however it played out. At the heart of it right now, you can feel, gosh, you know, is it going to get better? This feels harsh. This feels really brutal. You know, what do I do from here? It can be keeping you up, but it's cutting to the chase with it. It's really feeling very, very concerned. And that's why I really suggested allowing the astrology to play out in January. Because I am seeing it's a temporary frequency. The mindset can become distorted if our chakras are imbalanced. Now, if you can move through these areas and you can use the astrology to help you keep grounded, it's going to help you. Now, the clarification card and the advice is almost follow my advice. And you don't have to disconcern always what you feel is correct and if this energy relates to you. Now, there was a time that I was training and developing my gift, and there was a beautiful medium that worked with me, and she got very cross. She said to me, what are you doing? Because she would get me to work around the room and to just pick the first thing, right? And I was channeling. Initially, it started off with cups, which I didn't realise I was directly reading the energy, and from there it went to people, from there it went to cups and emails, etc., etc. So she had noticed a pattern of what was occurring, and I really had to, you know, the third eye, the chakras, and you know, obviously your crown chakra, when you're tapping into a person's energy, I was questioning myself, and it didn't make sense to me, so therefore why would it make sense to the person? What this person actually said to me was, it's not meant to make sense to you. So if this read directly relates, you have to use your intuition, how this is relating, and fit it where it fits. If it doesn't, don't make it fit. You're in alignment, you're fine. I would want to be you. Third party energy, okay? This can be a wound to do with the past. Again, with romance, birth, children, and luck. It doesn't mean to say it's a betrayal. It doesn't mean to say there's cheating in the situation. It's a very unique card, and it really depends on the intuitive and how they're directly reading it. Now, I did the video 3 times. It can be that that subject's coming up. It can also be very separately. You already dealt with that, and you've well and truly moved forward, and external energies are interfering. The third party energy could also be the vibration of old residing inside where you're healing the inner child. So it can be the direct wound. So you've really got to, you know, look at it very open-mindedly. Definitely with the karmic situation, gossip and conflict, okay? With the outcome and what you're not seeing is you are going to have a balanced, happy home. The full energy relates to 2020, okay, because 2020 is a vibrational 4 year, so it is appearing positive. And that's why I really recommend in this connection right now, or your meditation towards it, understand January is the transition. It's like the bridge. Look at it as merely the bridge, a temporary moment. If I can, I will do a tune-in mid-month, and I'm always live during the month, so feel free to join us, and you can ask questions if you're feeling really triggered. But I am moving towards mid-months. I'll see how I travel this month. I'm trying to prepare these before 2020 so that you guys have the information to keep you grounded moving forward. This too shall pass. I will see you live during the month. Love and light.